Are you ready? Are you ready? Let's go!
Do you have absolute certainty on how you go from hello to yes on what you're looking for?
Sean is a master. He teaches. It's not just about sharing the formula with you. It's about making sure that we learn.
I went from $100,000 in debt from law school to having no money and starting my own law firm on my credit card to selling it 4 years later.
Sean and I, we co-created massive victories in 2 unwinnable jury trials, which are recognized nationally now as top 100 jury verdicts.
To be even on the same track with you, who I respect and admire and love with all my heart.
Never again submit. You're not better and you're not less than any human on earth.
When you shared with us about the Unblinded process and the mastery sales training, I just went, wow.
Sean will gain proximity to the most influential and powerful people. He will find out how he can grow their business, how he can help them personally. But the third thing that he does is the most important. Sean serves without an expectation of getting anything in return.
You have very, very high-performing colleagues.
22 years ago, you transformed my life as you did all these people's lives over the course of time. And I couldn't be more grateful. Let's hear from Tony Robbins.
I don't see him as a lawyer, and I don't see him as a blind person. Someone who has subjugated his ego, who has taught me what serving really looks like.
You have this incredible ability to just have unconditional love for everyone, and that is just an incredible gift.
The moment you have been waiting for.
The American Blind Association is the first new face and voice of that association since Helen Keller.
Formula for formulas, which is exactly what I've learned from Sean. It's a language-based predictable model. We will have over 300 new sales meetings this month.
This superpower in the world that is attainable for you is the ability to influence people.
If you believe that, say yes. If you believe that, say yes.
Do you think that worked?
We do. This super lawyer is also the principal trombonist with the LA Lawyers Philharmonic Orchestra and Big Band of Barristers. Barry Goldberg serves as president of the San Fernando Valley Bar Association as well, and is known as a tenacious, understanding advocate for his PI clients, and is a frequent contributor to the Valley Lawyer magazine. He's funny. He's like drinking tequila shots. He's here with us today. Just kidding. Welcome, Barry Goldberg.
Hey, glad to be here, guys. Looking forward to it.
Out drinking tequila shots with the sales sorceress Bella Verita over there. So Barry, it's a welcome pleasure, man. Thank you so much for being here.
Did not get invited for tequila shots, just so you know.
To be fair. So Barry, what's the dynamic with the music? How long have you been passionate about music?
Well, it's a great question. I was really good in high school and college, and then I quit, basically retired to go to law school, raise a family, and I didn't play for 30 years. And then about 8 years ago, I started playing again, and little did I know there's a demand for trombonists everywhere. and LA has a great Lawyers Philharmonic, but closest to my heart is the Big Band of Barristers. That's what I like to play. And I've played at the Walt Disney Hall 8 times. We did the Big Band played at the Library of Congress a couple years ago, and the gigs are fantastic. Great lawyers, great judges, everything.
Barry, thrilled to have you here. Thank you for your contributions to this world.
De nada.
Yeah, we got another participant to roll with Barry.
We do. Peter Sylvester, a real estate rock star who knew when he was young that the clearest path to abundance and freedom was through real estate. He's the founder and CEO of Sylvester Holdings, and his team's latest acquisition is a large workforce apartment complex, which added massive value to the San Antonio market. And he's here with us. Peter Sylvester, welcome to The Real Raw.
We got California in the building. We got Texas in the building. Peter, welcome.
Thank you. I'm so grateful to be here. Nice to see you and speak with you, Sean, and everyone.
Yeah, well, thank you, Peter. And how about your fun fact for today? What do you got?
Yes, not only am I a real estate investor, syndicator, and realtor, I'm also really into biohacking, especially with regard to light, frequency, and energy healing.
Nice.
Love it.
Oh, Bella Verita has a woo friend. We call that Bella's woo world. So Peter, we're welcoming you as a woo friend of Bella's. Dave, and we got David coming up. Like there's woo, like
Forget
Nick
it.
there as well, for sure.
Woo woo. I love the woo woo.
Welcome all my friends.
Yes.
We're gonna get Sean to the woo side before it's too late.
He's on his way.
Yeah. So my fun fact, Peter, is that on I think it was Friday or Thursday, we do put me on the hot seat moment of the Real Raw. So my hot seat moment, I think it was on Friday, was I had to go from hello to yes integrously with somebody about getting them to go to Burning Man. And I am convinced that Bella Verita was behind the scenes making that happen. So Peter, welcome to the party.
Thank you. And I look forward to you going there. It's a transformative thing to do. And I highly recommend it.
I knew you had a woo friend here, Bella, without a doubt.
There we go.
Amazing. So thank you, Peter. Thank you, Barry. We got some judges, Gina. Who we got?
We do. Coming to us from her family's spring break in Cancun, she guides clients through the most important transaction of their lives, buying and selling real estate, and also helps investors defer capital gains taxes. Natalia Sishodia is here with us today. She's a managing partner of a New York boutique real estate law firm. Welcome, Natalia from Cancun.
Natalia, are you at Senor Frogs on spring break?
Yeah. Thank you for having me here.
Well, thank you, Natalia. What part of you're in Cancun?
Yes, actually, I'm in Riviera Maya. So it's a little bit like along the beach, but really, really close in the Cancun area.
Oh, beautiful. And how about your fun fact, Natalia, besides the real estate prowess?
My fun fact is I did a Spartan race right before the COVID last year on March 7th. And I also walked on the coals at one of the Tony Robbins events. Right from the fire. So those are my fun facts.
And how was your experience, Natalia, walking on hot coals? Because I have a fun fact to share that was quite shocking for me a number of years ago. So how was your experience walking on the coals?
So it was actually amazing. And I could not believe that because I was walking on that coal road, right? And I didn't feel any pain. And right in the middle, I got that idea that, oh, I'm walking on the hot coals. And I started feeling the pain. And I switched off my mind again. It's like, no, but it shouldn't hurt. I got ready for that. And it just stopped. And I finished my walk without any pain. So I thought that was amazing how our mind actually works. So it's in our power to feel pain or not to feel the pain.
Well, that is utterly extraordinary. So thank you, Natalia, for sharing that. Thank you for coming from spring break and hanging out in Cancun. And a fun fact for me, which is so closely aligned with what you shared, is the first time I walked on coals, it was in 2003. And I'm a big, we have fun joking around about woo, but I'm a huge person of faith. I believe in energy. I believe in all sorts of dynamics that go beyond the physical space. So, but in that moment, I was like, all right. And I love Tony's work. His work had already transformed my life. I didn't know him through live events, but more through just his books and CDs at that point. And so I go to walk on a fire, and I was so into everything we're doing. And I saw the fire walk at that moment as just kind of a annoying pedestrian additional part of the whole thing. And I scuba dive with sharks. I go on roller coasters, and I assess danger probably a little differently than people. I'm like, there's no way this is dangerous.
A lot differently.
Yes, a lot differently. So I'm like, there's no way this is actually dangerous because they wouldn't have people do it. I love Tony and I'm going to do it, but I wasn't in state. I wasn't scared. I didn't think it was a big deal. True story. I step into the coals with my left foot. I felt like they lit my left foot on fire. I was fully expecting to feel nothing just because I figured the speed of walking across equals like how it works scientifically. My foot felt like it was on fire. I started saying cool moss. I got into like my body and my state. And similar to what you just said, Natalia, I walked the rest of the way. I had no pain. Honest to God, that night I had blisters on my left foot, but not on my right foot. I felt nothing on my right foot. I felt nothing on my left foot except for the first step. So that demonstrated to me, first of all, how real the firewalk is, and another example of how powerful our mind is. From what I would now say, and I couldn't have said Bella Verita before a week ago, my dear friend, Tony Robbins, because I don't call people friends first. It's a very forward thing to do. But Tony called me his dear friend in front of 5,000 people last week to the audience after Business Mastery. So I can now say my dear friend, and I say it with honor and privilege and pride. He's extraordinary. And thank you for sharing that, Natalia.
Thank you for sharing, Sean, your experience. It's amazing.
Well, thank you for that. Gina, we got some other amazing folks.
Yes, we do. Therese Rolke effectively leads the Monmouth Regional Chamber of Commerce and is successfully so that it successfully achieves its mission of service to members, and she provides executive leadership to the chamber staff, where she partners with political and community leaders, including local charities and other local endeavors to promote the well-being of the community at large. And I'm tongue-tied and tongue-twisted on this Monday. Welcome, Therese. It's so great to have you here.
Thank you so much, Gina. It's so good to be here. I'm very honored.
Yes, Therese, thank you. Gina had too many jelly beans over the weekend from Easter Bunny.
Yes, and I finished. Apparently I finished Barry's. Maybe finished Barry's tequila. I don't know what here. No,
Yeah, you know, the tequila is from the Cancun discussion, just so you know. And COVID shots.
Right, that's where it started, the COVID
Yes.
shots. That was your third shot, you said, tequila.
Therese, how are you? And thank you for being here. And what part of Monmouth County are you from?
So I live in Eatontown. The chamber is out of Freehold, and we love Monmouth County and what it has to offer its residents and its business folks.
Well, for those that don't know, Bruce Springsteen's town of origin is Freehold, and he has a song named Freehold. So, Therese, thank you. And what's your fun fact?
Okay, so I love to have fun and I love to bring people joy. So my fun fact is that a very dear friend of mine and myself do something called Karaoke Fun with Karen and Therese on Facebook Live.
I'm sure Gina Ricci would be very happy to join you on your Facebook Live for
karaoke fun.
Karaoke fun. And someday you could ask Gina if rock stars pursue her along the beaches of Monmouth County. I want to know that, Therese. So you can help her out. So
We're gonna
thank
have to grab a cup of coffee, Gina.
Yes, we can.
Gina, we got one more amazing rock star coming up. Speaking of rock star, Ness, who we got?
We sure do. David Meltzer, co-founder of Sports One Marketing and consultant and business coach, keynote speaker, 3-time best-selling author, formerly was the CEO of the renowned Lee Steinberg Sports and Entertainment Agency, which was the inspiration for the Jerry Maguire movie, and also is the executive producer of Amazon Prime series 2-Minute Drill, amongst a million other accolades. Welcome, Mr. David Meltzer. We're so glad you're here.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. This is amazing. I'm having such a good time already.
David, it is such an honor and a privilege to have all these fine folks, including yourself, man. And David, you're extraordinary. You've become a fast friend. We know a lot of people in common. And I did have the privilege of hearing a couple of your comments earlier about the vibration and the wavelength, and I feel the same way. And I'm immensely grateful for your being here and for all the things that we are and may continue to create in the world. So thank you, brother.
Thank you. My objective is to be a dear friend of yours someday, soon to be. Just a matter of time.
and yours as well, David. And how about your fun fact? I can't imagine.
All right. Well, I have so many commonalities with everyone here, from real estate to law but the biggest commonality is that my grandfather played piano, big band piano. He was Benny Goodman's piano player. And in 1988, played at the Super Bowl. They had 88 pianos in San Diego, chose 88 piano players. And my grandfather was the very first one. He was 88 years old at the time. It was awesome. But this is the reason, though, I played the trombone, because I wanted to be like my grandfather. And then my mom made me quit because My mom was a doctor, lawyer, failure type of person. She had 6 kids. She was an educator. We didn't have much money. And she told me that, my grandfather had quit dental school to join the band with Benny Goodman, and that I was going to go to law school. And after law school, I could play the trombone. But until I graduated, I wasn't allowed to do anything I wanted.
So David, thank you for all that. And for those that don't know, and let's reinforce, yes, David, his world, like the inspiration for Jerry Maguire, like that was not who they were in that. His partner, Warren Moon, partner, current or former partner, David, I want to say.
He's current by the business, so for 12 years.
Yeah, awesome. And Warren Moon blazed such an unbelievable trail in the NFL as an African-American quarterback and had immense success. And in the beginning of his career, by many counts, and I think his own, was unable to make it into the NFL and had to play in the Canadian Football League, lost meaningful years of his career, was a rock star there, came to the NFL and did extraordinary things. And, David, it's an honor to have you here and representing all the trailblazing that you're involved in the world, in the physical realm, in the metaphysical realm, and all that you bring.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
My Woo clan is growing bigger and bigger and bigger, Sean. The more people, the more influence. At some point, I'm going to get a yes out of you on this.
Yes. So here's the dynamic. In my world, my kids think I'm like half a hippie. Like that's what my daughters think. Bella thinks I am the most straight-laced, uptight human imaginable. I jump out of airplanes. I surf in hurricanes. I am blind. I ski double black diamonds. And somehow, Bella, you continue to think that I am, since I am not from Austin and your amazing Woo world, and Burning Man, I equal some boring, straight-up dude. But I will continue to endeavor to have the truth revealed. And if you speak with my children, my daughter's like, Dad, you're like such a hippie. Like that is something that my daughter Emma regularly says to me, Dad, you're such a hippie, which is, I'm sure, hysterical to you, Bella. Is it not?
That is very hysterical to me, yes.
Okay.
I don't think hippies come out of the East Coast.
Well, thank you for that. So, appreciate all you guys very much. Gina, if I may, I'm going to hit the sales sorcerer. So Bella, this woman started as a tot on the front lawn at 8 years old, selling crafts, moved into the space of network marketing as a teenager after going through some immense changes and dynamics and traumas through the high school career, and became a $1 million earner in the space of network marketing and created many six-figure earners, went on to become the #1 business broker in the state of Nevada before eventually starting Align Sales, becoming Align Talent, a hotbed for bringing people business, heart-centered, integrous business development professionals to help grow the mission of leaders causing leadership and rising in money, time, and magic. Bella Verita, it is an honor to call you the co-host of The Real Raw and a privilege. Thank you, Bella, and what's happening?
Thank you, Mr. Callaghy. It is an honor and a privilege to be here. I think it's my favorite part of the day.
Well, thank you, Bella. And your fun fact, my friend.
I'm going to go with the Tony Robbins fun fact because I, too, have walked on coals twice. The first time, nailed it, no problems, I'm a rock star. The second time, my ego might have been involved a little bit, and I was like, I've done this before, I got it, no problem. And kind of like you said, Sean, I stepped on and my foot was lit on fire. Mine was the right foot, lit on fire, walked across. And the second time, I ended up with a huge blister on my right foot. And I said, you know what? That's what happens when the ego gets involved.
Get burned.
And one more quick fun fact is Bella was there when had an unbelievable privilege of taking over a Tony Robbins intervention in the spiritual trip this past October. Tony came up and said, Sean, take over. I was honored and blown away. But Bella also watched Tony throw chairs, throw fruit up in the air across the room, and one of the wildest, craziest Tony interventions I've ever seen. And Bella Verita, thank you for being there for that.
Absolutely. It was an honor and a privilege, and it was incredible to witness someone that I know has been a mentor, someone that you've mirrored and modeled for many, many years, acknowledge you in front of the room saying, if there's anyone to pay attention to, it's Sean Callaghy, and that there's no one that leads with more heart and more integrity And that was one of my first experiences, of you. And that was, 4, 5, 6 months ago now, maybe 5. And I've continued to witness that heart and that integrity day after day, hour after hour, week after week. And it's absolutely incredible. So thank you.
Right back at you, Bella, because that's what you bring. That's what you bring, Gina. We love you. Gina's rise in her heart-centeredness and her acceleration as a leader has been extraordinary, overcoming immense pain and loss in her life and turning it and channeling it into positive leadership. Gina, we love you. We're so grateful for you, and thank you for getting us going.
Thank you, Sean. Thank you, Sean. And welcome to the multiverse. This is right now, it feels very woo-woo. I love woo-woo. Thank you. It helped me a lot throughout my years. I appreciate you. Have fun, everybody.
Love you, Gina. Great
Love
job.
you. Bye. Thank you.
Bella, we got some amazing people to get to. So who is going first?
You know what? I think my good friend Peter is ready to go. He is ready to bring the woo and all the things. So Peter, what do you say?
Sure. Bring it on. Thank you.
So Peter, we're going to have a little bit of fun. And here's what we're doing. So Bella will be anybody that you want her to be. She'll play that role. And this is all about going from hello to yes, because everything happens after yes, and not Boiler Room meets Wolf of Wall Street yes. No. Instead, integrous, heart-centered yes. The revelation of truth, the unpacking of value integrously, because it's an extraordinary challenge in our world, is that we're so driven by our primal fear of rejection and failure that we don't hear, we don't see value, we move away from things. And so often, people who've mastered that fear of rejection, fear of failure, overcome are very often not the optimal people we should be doing business with. So heart-centered people and driving forward that hello to yes dynamic is what the show is all about. So Belle will be anybody you want her to be. Just we suggest it be yes that's relevant to you in the world. Sound good?
Yeah, sounds great.
Yeah. So who would you like Bella to be?
Very experienced investor type. Could be, well, let's be specific. So somebody who's willing and has done and willing to invest in large multifamily investments and other types of real estate investments. And I'm inviting that person to participate in a rent of a hotel that's quite run down.
Nice. Bella, you got some money burning in your pocket?
Yes, really quickly, Peter, what's one or two things I would want to know as an experience, because I heard experience was important to you. So as an experienced investor, what are just a couple, two, three things I would want to know about being an experienced investor?
What's the exit cap rate? Cap rate is just the value of investment in a given period of time.
Okay.
And also what's the expected return, and kind of maybe just ask, what am I creating? And
okay.
I don't know, go from there.
Got it. I got it. Those are couple key pieces.
We also have a lot of fun. So here it comes. Yeah. Bella, take us in, please.
Hello, Peter. It's Bella.
Hi, Bella. How are you doing?
I am extraordinary, sir. How are you?
Great. So I'm creating this real estate investment out here in Texas. So I wanted to go first go over what you
Texas?
might.
I didn't realize it was in Texas. Where in Texas?
Oh, it's in a college town north of Houston, and although it's a tertiary market, it's quite interesting in that, first of all, the price that we're acquiring that at is super low. It's a fire sale, basically. It's been so run down. But I wanted to get a beat on what you're interested in, what you expect as returns when you invest in real estate opportunities. Can you give me some history on what you've experienced in the past?
Yeah, well, there's been a wide range, but I'm really curious. I'd like to hear more about, this project. I have some interest in Texas, and you've reached out to me. So what had you reach out to me as a possible investor?
Well, I know you've done some multifamily in the past, and you had a few other asset types that you were interested in. And you did suggest that around 15% was something that you would get out of bed for, as opposed to say 10% or less, right?
Yeah,
So
it definitely depends on the project itself, but yeah, there's been anywhere from I would say 10 to maybe 25. We've even had opportunities where we've had 30%, which I really like those.
Great, of course, yeah. Okay, well, I'll get into it a little bit. So what this is a 115 door hotel. It's kind of like a motel style where you park around the outside and you just walk up on the outside. There's no indoor hallways, though it does have a very large 5,800 common space that is being used for, of course, the lobby, but in the past it was used for a restaurant. So what we're thinking of is renovating that to a really groovy cafe, trendy cafe style.
Yep.
And also a bar and like a WeWorks opportunity where people can get little cubby holes to use their phones and smaller gathering spaces to have in-person meetings. And then of course the pool area needs renovating.
Sounds perfect for our like traveling lifestyle type folks these days.
Excuse me, guys. I'm sorry. Bella, your cousin Lucy's on the phone. She met some guy, Eddie, at the bar last night, and he's got this Bitcoin investment. She's promising a 500% annual return. But you know Lucy, so could you grab the call real quick?
Yes, Peter, if you'll give me 1 second, I gotta go see what Lucy's gotten herself into.
Okay, great.
So, Peter, excellent job. How'd that feel for you?
Good. Always good to practice and get warmer up.
Yeah. All right, we're coming back in round two. Excellent work, my friend. Barry, who would you like Bella to be?
Bella, besides just being yourself, I would like you to be one of my friends, neighbors, members of the community that someone, either yourself or someone in your family, has had a major injury, accident, and looking for a attorney. But one of the issues is that some of these big cases seem to be going to lawyers that are what I call on the other side of the hill, Beverly Hills downtown. And I want to try and keep my community in the community, and I want to help my people. So that's kind of what I'm looking to do.
Nice.
Okay, so someone in my family like slipped and fell, right? And then you're trying to keep the work on your side. Is that what I'm understanding correctly?
Oh, it can be just some type of major injury.
Okay, got it.
So awesome. Yeah, Bella, take us in, please.
Hi, Barry. I got your name and number from a friend of mine. Another friend of mine had an accident, and I was told to reach out to you.
Well, I'm so glad to hear from you, and I'm here to try and help you navigate this complex circumstance in order to get the best possible recovery. What are your concerns?
My biggest concern is, there's a lot of attorneys in town to work with, and, I never know, one, like there seems to be some astronomical percentages attorneys take, and then I don't know if they're actually like doing the work. And I feel like I was referred to another attorney on the other side of the hill over there. And I'm just really trying to decide, who's the best person to go with.
Well, that's a really great questions. And let me tell you why. Because one of the differentiators that I have is that I actually talk to my clients. I take phone calls. The number one complaint about attorneys is they don't answer the phone. They don't call back. I keep hiring people around me so I can spend time with my clients and really understand what they want and how to get there. The other thing is that I have a lot of experience. I've been practicing law for 35 years. I'm known as a foremost authority. So I want to answer your questions. I want to get proper medical care, and I want to get a great result. The other thing that you mentioned was the cost. And I did see someone on this show actually talk about this cost recently. And I jumped out of my chair. Let me tell you why. In 35 years, I've never had a money dispute with any of my clients. Why is that? I always charge a reasonable fee, regardless of what it says on a piece of paper. What's a reasonable fee? I make sure that the client always gets more than the doctors and always gets more than the lawyers. So basically, I'm result oriented. And then I never pay myself until the client signs off a piece of paper saying that is a fair fee, and I'm very satisfied with the work you did. And that's why I don't have any monetary disputes with my clients.
I love hearing that, Barry. That is absolutely extraordinary. I can't say that that has always been the case from, other attorneys that I've heard about.
And let me tell you something else. As I'm born and raised in the West San Fernando Valley, I've probably been down every street, every store. I've probably been by your house, not on purpose. But,
good to know. I'm glad I don't have any more stalkers out there.
So when there's a slip and fall accident, I'm familiar with the neighborhood and the location and the concerns that are there. And that's why I do such a great job. And it mortifies me when one of my friends or neighbors goes somewhere else where the lawyer is not familiar with the area and not familiar with the people and doesn't really get a great
Barry,
result.
if you give me 1 second, I really like where this is headed.
Hey Bella, there's somebody knocking at the door. They just rolled up in a Bugatti, and they have a roll of cash, and it says Hills on their license plate. So I don't know what's going on, but they're like here at the door.
I'll be right back, Barry.
All right.
Barry, excellent job, man. Your resonance, your energy, your heart for people really came through. So great job.
Thank you.
Yeah. Bella, how'd that feel for you? Round 1 with Barry and Peter.
It was absolutely extraordinary, phenomenal job. And I have something for Peter if the judges don't hit it. So let's go.
So judges, we're going to go there now. Bella's going to deal with Bugattis, and she's going to deal with crazy cousins and Bitcoin investment dynamics. So let's go, Natalia.
Is a Bugatti, is that a car?
It is. I would only know that because my son was a car aficionado at one point, and he was like 12 and told me every ridiculous car that existed in the world. So yes, Tyler had his phase of like carness, and he's in his chess phase now, but he was in his car phase at one point. So
God, I'm like, I missed like Rolls Royces or Maserati or something, but a Bugatti, my head went somewhere else for a second.
My understanding is a Bugatti, there's like Bugattis that cost $3 or $4 million. At least that is what I've heard. I don't know that to be true. Okay.
Well, if that's out front, I don't know that I'm coming back.
Pellerita. So, Natalia, we have 30 seconds of feedback, please, for each of our amazing participants, starting with Peter and then Barry. 30 seconds, 15 seconds on what worked, 15 seconds on what could be optimized, and then please a score on a scale of 1 to 10. How does that sound, Natalia?
Sounds good.
Peter.
Okay, Peter was amazing, but I would suggest to start talking about return on investment first for investors, and then show the actual results in past, how previous investors got that return. Okay, for Barry was amazing.
Oh, what was your score for Peter then? On a score
for Peter, I would say 5.
Okay, and how about for Barry?
Barry was good, but I have also some comments for Barry. What I would do otherwise, probably first ask the injured person how the accident happened, and like talk about more like try to listen and ask questions rather than talk about yourself and your achievements. And then later during conversation, mention your achievements. So that's about it.
And your score for Barry is?
I would rate Barry 7.
Nice. Thank you so much for that. Yeah, thank you, Natalia. David, my friend, what did you have for Peter, please?
Was the credibility and emotional attachment. I thought you were very credible and you connected to Bella really nicely and very conversational. I think where you can utilize improvement is too slow, right? You know it's a time space, so get very specific. This is about making money, and you didn't get to the guts of how the money's made, you were too conversational. So it worked for you on the credibility and emotional attachment, but under reasons, impacts, and capabilities, it failed you. But overall, really nice pitch and a good start.
All right. Thank you for that, David. Excellent.
And I'll give him a 7.
Nice. And how about for Barry, please?
So Barry, once again, I thought the emotional connection was really good. I thought another technique could be to learn about the injury and have a little bit of empathy with what has actually happened. I think it would allow you also to evaluate it. One of the things you can improve on, I'd be very careful about a guarantee of allowing a client or every client you ever had to make more than the doctors. That seemed a little bit unrealistic and damaged the credibility. But otherwise, the other side of negativity, be careful. If you're too tight in the community, you'll protect the owners of the companies. So you had two-sided arguments. Maybe I'm a lawyer and critical, but I would give you an 8, Barry, as well.
All right. Beautiful. Great energy, David. Thank you. And Therese, please, what did you have for Peter?
Yes. So Peter, I thought you were really good on connecting. I thought the information you shared was good. What I would recommend is that you ask more questions so you know where she's really, what she's really looking for besides just a percentage of the profits that she's looking to make. I think there's more you can get out of her so you can be more specific to her needs and really nail it. So I would give you a 7.
Excellent, Trace. Thank you. And how about for Barry?
You know, I like the way Barry opened up by asking specific questions and hearing her concerns about what she was looking for and how she felt about general lawyers in the area. So I thought he did a good job opening up with those questions. And then he did, I like the way he reaffirmed things and the way he addressed every single one of her issues with his experience. And I felt confident that he would be the right person for her. But I do see what David was saying about how he could get into trouble by overpromising. So I also gave Barry an 8.
Nice. Excellent work. Appreciate that from Natalia, Therese, David. And we are ready for round 2. Bella Verita, are you back from Bugattis and from crazy Bitcoin investments? Are you ready?
Yes, I am ready, but I'd like to add something for Peter, because I was going to see if the judges, picked up on this, is, you teach the 4 steps of communication model, step 1 being the emotional rapport building. And one of those micro distinctions, so when you mentioned Houston, I was like, oh, Houston. And one of the things that Sean would pick up on that is like what the opportunity to create rapport around that, because I'm from Texas. And so just noticing that, like where that there was like an energy uplift there, to notice that and lean into that to create more emotional rapport would have been a huge opportunity to make a deeper connection in that moment. So I wanted to add that.
Okay. Excellent. Love that, Bella. Thank you for that. Barry, are you ready for round 2?
Always.
Take us in, please, my friend.
Hi, Barry. I'm back. It was a fake Bugatti. It wasn't even real.
Well, I'm glad that you're back. And now I want to talk to you about what it's going to take for me to start working with you on this case. If I get you to great medical care, or your family member to great medical care, and I
let me ask you this, Barry. Yeah. This medical care that you want me to go see, I'm sure you have a list of doctors you want my friend to go see. But do you get any kickbacks from those doctors? Because I know a lot of attorneys send their clients to certain doctors just because they make money off of them.
Yeah, it's such a great question. I rarely get involved in the medical care when people have their own doctors, their own insurance, and are getting great care already. Only if someone needs a referral do I make the referral, and it's to the best possible doctor. I have no financial arrangements whatsoever. And as the bar president, I've fought these type of problems for years on behalf of the plaintiff's bar.
Got it. Awesome. Thank you for that transparency.
Now, one of the things that I'd like to offer you is if you allow me to start my investigation to determine whether there's liability, see if there's a source of recovery, and let my team go to work. If you don't like the job that we do you think it would be a good idea for us to part ways?
I mean, yeah, if you're not doing a good job, then definitely.
Well, if we do a great job and you're very impressed, is this a type of law firm that you'd like to do business with?
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Okay, well, I have an assistant that will send out all the questionnaires and the documents. We do it by DocuSign. And if you need be, she'll be on the phone with you to answer any questions about the forms themselves. And the great thing about that is that I'll make myself available to you to answer any questions for you or your family members to make sure that you're satisfied with the intake process, and that you would give us a 5-star rating just on the intake process. How does that sound?
That sounds extraordinary, Barry. Thank you so much.
Well, I look forward to working with you, and so we're going to reach out and start this process right away. Is that okay?
That sounds great. Thank you so much.
All right.
Barry, truly outstanding energy. Great job.
Thank you.
Yeah. Peter, Bella is back. Save this woman from this crazy cousin in the Bitcoin investment, please.
Hello, Peter. I'm back.
Hey, Bella, glad you called me back. Hey, you know, I was so excited to tell you about this just amazing project. It's like super amazing. I did notice that you had some interest when I mentioned Houston. So tell me more about what you know about Texas and Houston.
Yeah, you know what? Thank you so much for noticing and asking. You know, I am from Texas. I'm actually from Houston originally.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And then grew up in Austin. And, you know, I'm very familiar with what's happening in the real estate market there in you know, in and around the Houston, Austin, you know, metropolitan area. So, you know, I'm excited to hear what you have to say, because I know things are going really well over there.
I've done some macro studies on all the major markets in Texas. And let me tell you, it is a bright, shining star in the world, booming over the next 10 years to come, regardless of what happens in the world. As you know, all the major companies are bringing their headquarters here to Texas, and it's just exploding in population. And there's going to be a great need in, well, there already is a great need in real estate, already far below demand, as you know. And so there's opportunities literally everywhere, because people are moving about. They're moving from in the city to the country, and from other states and cities to the cities here in Texas. So, I mean, it's just so amazing here in Texas. And that's why I came here to Texas, to take advantage and to add value to communities and to people's lives, and to, of course, add freedom and abundance. That's what I'm all about, and that's what I'm here to do. So this property, let me tell you, just the end result is 17% returns annualized.
Okay.
And the excitement is that though it's just outside the college area, it's not for students. In fact, the city, I already called the city, you know, I do my due diligence, and the city says, we do not want students. This is for the parents and the friends of students to come here. And while they're there, that's why I'm going to incorporate the WeWorks type atmosphere, right? So they feel more at home to stay an extra few days or a week, because they have a work environment right there, and the fun pool environment with the cabanas that we're creating. So, and this is just 3 miles from A&M. So it's just a stunning opportunity and fun project.
Beautiful. Well, Beer, I tell you what, I've got to run right now, but where should we go from here? Because I'm definitely interested.
Let's talk offline another time, and we can really get in the nuts and bolts, because, you know, this isn't something we could just decide on and do in a few seconds. So, you know, as a serious investor that I know you are, you'd want to see everything spelled out, written out, and maybe even come and visit and see the plans and go forward.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Peter.
Thank you very much, Bella.
Hey, Peter, excellent job, my friend. Loved you picking up the energy and asking a few probing questions and connecting with Bella around the Houston dynamics. So really nice work. So Peter and Barry, would you guys like to have a little bit of fun right now?
Of course.
Absolutely.
Excellent. Okay. So let's go with this. Peter, I have a 1 or a 2 that I am placing under the table. What do you think it is, a 1 or a 2?
He's holding up a 1. Sean's blind, remember?
1.
Oh, no,
okay. 1.
It is actually a 2. So trick the blind guy. That's what happens. I'm kidding. So Barry, would you like to either this is what's going to happen. You get to pick a scenario and put me on the hot seat. So I'll be anybody you want me to be, and having to go from integrously hello to yes with somebody else about anything. Who would you like me to be?
Why don't you be a judge ruling on a summary judgment motion brought by a client like Bella's who had a slip and fall accident?
Okay, except I'm going to be the person. I have to get the yes.
We'll flip it. You can be the lawyer and get the yes from a judge to deny a motion for summary judgment.
And the motion from summary judgment is based on not meeting a certain injury.
It's not enough of a dangerous condition for there to be liability.
Got it. Perfect. Okay. And who would you like the judge to be, Barry? Yourself or somebody else?
Well, I think we have some. Therese, would you like to be a judge?
Sure. Why not?
Okay. So we got Therese as the judge.
Awesome. Thank you for that, Barry. Okay. So, Judge Therese, thank you so much for my final quick 3 minutes here and granting oral argument. I appreciate it very much. Thank you, Your Honor.
You're very, very welcome.
Yeah. So, Your Honor, contrary to what the defense is asserting, this was, of course, a dangerous condition under New Jersey law. I'm sorry, the California law. A dangerous condition is anything that one should know or reasonably should know was dangerous. And as you're aware, Your Honor, all that we need to have is an issue of disputed material fact. If there's any reasonable fact the jury could rely upon, then their motion, the defense's motion, must be denied as the most basic common framework of legal jurisprudence in America. And with respect and with no antagonistic desire, this is a frivolous motion, Your Honor. Miss Bellaverita, as she has asserted, and the security cameras demonstrate, walked down an aisle in Walmart. This poor young woman was looking to get a blanket for the beach to go out in her new bathing suit to run around the beaches of Southern California and to meet an incredible number of new and wonderful friends. And so as she's walking through Walmart, there was a pool of liquid that covered half of the aisle. And security cameras also demonstrate that no less than 5 employees that worked at Walmart had walked past this condition over a 6-hour period, and nobody had mopped it up. The plaintiffs, our side, on behalf of Ms. Farida, have submitted an expert report that says, by definition, this is per se negligent. Now, Your Honor, we're not filing a cross motion for summary judgment expecting you to accept that dynamic, but in fact, it certainly creates an issue of material fact because not only could the jury rely upon the testimony of Ms. Farida, seeing this massive pool, the video evidence that we obtained through incredible investigation, but also the expert report from Jack in the Box experts, and they are clearly stating that this, again, is negligence per se. So, Your Honor, I don't know why this motion has even been brought. And in fact, we're also requesting attorney's fees for the frivolous filing of this motion, Your Honor. Can I answer any questions for you?
No, I see what you're saying, and the facts are clearly recorded on the videos. The witnesses have clearly stated what they saw, and the timeline is correct. 6 hours of this sitting there. I'm surprised there weren't more people that got injured.
Yes.
So
we are protecting the people of the Los Angeles County and the San Fernando Valley. And I'm just thankful, Your Honor, that we didn't have one of those Beverly Hills charlatans that came to. So thank you. I'm not kidding. So Barry, how'd I do?
Sounds good. I forgot how convenient it is to be able to make up the facts underlying the case. You did a great job.
Well, thank you for that, my friend. I appreciate you. Bella, do you feel appropriately represented, and how is that for you?
I kind of feel appropriately represented, other than the fact that I would go into Walmart for a blanket and like Nazi gallery, but that's a whole different story for a different day.
Well, thank you, Bella. Appreciate that. So let's jump in with our fine judges and see what amazing feedback they have for Barry and Peter from that round. Let's start with Therese this time, going reverse order. Therese, what do you have starting with our reversal of who went first? Let's go with Barry, please.
Okay. So yes, I like the way Barry picked up the storyline and talked about medical care. So what I really liked about Barry's presentation is he got small closes from Bella. He would make a statement and then give her a closing question to get an answer out of her. So he drew her in and he really got her engaged and involved in what he was saying. He just wasn't talking at her. And for that, I will up Barry's score to a 9.
Nice. And what did you have for Peter?
So for Peter, I love the way he came back with the Texas connection. He learned real quick how to correct course where he was going. So good job with that. But I did feel that you were doing a lot of talking at Bella and not enough engaging her with those closing questions. Because when you get small closing questions along the way, you'll get the close at the end because she's agreeing with everything you're saying. You got to check in with her to make sure she's in agreement with what you're saying. Don't just spit out the facts. So for that, I will give you a higher score. I'll give you an 8, Peter.
Thank you.
Welcome.
I really appreciate you. Great job, Trace, and wonderful to have somebody coming from the Jersey Shore on the Real Raw today. And how was today on the Real Raw for you?
Tons of fun. This is really nice. I love what you're doing. I love the work you're doing. And I love the way you do it. I wasn't sure what to expect today. I did look at some videos and testimonials, but I didn't look at the show because I wanted to be surprised.
Oh, well, thank you. We've had more than 3,000, not views of the show, not people that said they liked the show, but actually have been on like yourselves. More than 3,000 since COVID began. And this has been an extraordinary dynamic for all of us, and to raise people like yourself. Saying yes, jumping off the cliff with the courage and vulnerability makes it possible. So thank you.
And I want to congratulate you as a Chamber of Commerce person for starting up a business during the pandemic. I think hats off to you and your team for making this work and for finding something that people need in any kind of situation, but to do this during the pandemic when I think they need it the most. Hats off to all of you.
Thank you. And if we may, something that we're particularly proud of that just happened, we haven't talked a lot about, at Business Mastery, which I couldn't be more thankful to Tony Robbins. My guest at Business Mastery was the president of the American Foundation for the Blind, Kirk Adams. And we had the privilege of shattering the all-time Business Mastery fundraising record for the team that we created for Kirk. We raised $420,000 in a little over 3 days for the American Foundation for the Blind in its 100th anniversary year. So I thank Tony for that, Kirk for that, and the team. Our team was the Lucky Gorillas. So the 200 plus members of the Lucky Gorillas did an unbelievable job. So thank you for reminding me to bring that up because all this came out of the pandemic as well. So thank you.
Wow, great. Thank you.
Thank you. David, please, my friend, what'd you have for Barry?
I love Barry's energy, and I love, most importantly, during the close, his certainty. So he had a comfort level that he made the client feel certain what he was saying was true. All the comments that I make on the other side of it are all just polished client consulting advice that I have. So on your close, I thought it was too obsequious. I thought the close turned into you're this certain lawyer that's protecting the community, and then you had kind of a car salesman. I love the way you build up to the close, but I think something like, do you see any reason you wouldn't want to move forward would be a much more aligned with your energy, class, and education and caring than kind of.
And your score for Barry is?
I'll go with a 9 as well.
Hey, wonderful feedback, brother. Like I love hearing you give the feedback. Awesome. How about for Peter?
Don't even call it a comeback. He's been here for years. He came back a whole different person. I really liked your energy. I liked the speed and cadence that you were talking. You had me engaged. I liked you learned from what you were told, which was great. The only thing I think you missed, and I meant to say this before too, is you had Texas A&M as the fringe school, and you're 3 miles from there with a motel. I mean, come on, you missed the biggest selling point of why this thing's going to be successful. You hit the points of the growing market. So I think you missed the home run pitch, but besides that, you did an extraordinary job. And I'm upping yours also to a 9.
Thank you. Woo! So thank you, David. So appreciate you taking the time along with everybody, but to be here today. Your generosity, your contribution is received and appreciated. How was the Real Raw for you?
Awesome. It was exactly what I expected. I expected nothing less but the best, and this was the best. And I'm happy to help anytime I can of service. And I purposely, just so you know, I have a 5:20 rule. So I normally only give people 20 minutes, but when they said Sean was going to do this for an hour, I will break my famous rules for you for sure, buddy. So thank you.
Brother, thank you. And I love that rule and intentionality. And I look forward to talking because I have some ideas that I think we can create some real value and unpack some things that would be innovative. So I look forward to chatting and I really appreciate you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Natalia, please, what did you have for Barry?
I really like the energy that Barry had throughout his interview with the client this time. And I also felt the confidence, and I felt Barry to be the lawyer to trust, to have the case going. And what I really like that Barry offered the value up front. He offered to help the client to secure a physician. He offered client the help to start the investigation without kind of getting anything in return up front. And I also...
Barry is?
Sorry?
I said, your score for Barry is?
Say again, I couldn't hear what you said.
Your score.
Oh, the score. I'll give Barry a 10 this time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And everybody, that Bella Verita is the queen and princess and goddess of time integrity. So she always hits it with the 30-second mark. So thank you for that. And please, Natalia, what did you have for Peter?
For Peter, definitely, since I'm talking about the energy, I could feel that the whole energy changed talking to investor. And I really like how Peter included the data and statistic. It definitely brought a value. The only thing I would add probably to mention about the security of this kind of investment, because Bella was on the phone for Bitcoin and just a little bit talking about security could probably draw her back from the Bitcoin investment. That is kind of like whack at this point. So,
and your score for him is?
I would give Peter 9 this time.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Let me acknowledge the judges, Natalia, David, and Therese. You guys were just wonderful. The energy was just this like, it was serious and fun, and it had such a beautiful synergy. Thank you. And how was today on The Real Raw for you, Natalia?
I think it was fun experience, and what I like, there were things that I didn't expect it. So just meeting new fun people, having similar ideas, and believing in positive energy and in bringing the value. That's amazing.
Thank you. And you did a beautiful job today.
Thank you for having me here.
Thanks for coming in, our super lawyer friend. Really impressed by your presentation style, your heart-centeredness, your congruence. I can see why you've been as successful as you've been and are the leader that you are. How was today on The Real Raw for you?
I enjoyed it a lot. And to meet a fellow trombonist was a bonus for me, a huge bonus to hear those trombone stories. No, I'm trying to connect with people. I'm really mindful of what I say and what other people say, and I want to get better and better and better. So thank you for everyone's input and participation. It means a lot to me.
Appreciate you very much. And final, we have a friend from the world of Woo who did a wonderful job of taking feedback, stepping in, connecting, opening up. Peter, great job today, man. And how about yourself? How was today for you?
Amazing. Yeah. It's really wonderful to be in a room full of heartfelt people and to learn from them and get feedback, of course, because we can't grow if we don't learn from our mistakes and grow from them. So yeah, I felt nervous with time. So it's good to really get the feedback so I can really time myself appropriately and just hit the mark. So
you're a consummate professional. It's present and grateful for you. Bella Verita, final.
Yeah, Sean, final is, as all these extraordinary people, I just first want to say thank you for being here and bringing that good energy, because today was absolutely an extraordinary show. And after spending 20 years in personal development in the coaching space, what is here at Unblinded is something special that is not done anywhere else. And so to continue the journey, you want to be Monday night, that's tonight. Monday night, we're unpacking like how to handle objections, how to unpack value, 7 p.m. on Clubhouse. Following that at 9 p.m., we're talking about monetization, how to monetize like your followership, your relationship capital. And then every day at 9 a.m., we're crushing it with ecosystem mergers, all on Clubhouse. So point being is you want to join us on Clubhouse, and a strategist will reach out to you. So definitely let the journey continue. And if this is where it ends, you know, they will send you some like cookies and some tissues, because it'll be very, very sad for you. But we'll wish you the best and send you lots of love.
All right, Bella Rita, you are extraordinary, nonstop fun and magic. Appreciate you at the highest level. Great job. And Bella, we are all blind.
And just learning to see.
Thank you, Bella. And thank you, everybody. Barry, Peter, Natalia, David, Therese. You guys did an extraordinary job. Thank you. It's been an honor. And P.S., who wants to go with the go out song? Let's do this. Therese, what song would you like to go out?